Hello, right then, okay, so we're going to be starting down on the mat today, and I haven't got my towel ready, so I'll run and get that in a moment or two. I'm mixing things around a little bit today. We're definitely going to hit those glutes hard today. I know we hit the tummy muscles hard last time, but we're going to get a bit more of the glutes in today, a little bit on the tummy, and probably show you one or two things that we might not have done before, so hopefully we'll keep it interesting, keep it a little bit different. I'm going to be making sure that we get a nice sort of basic version in of each one, but then quickly move on to something that's a little bit harder if you're ready for that. And one thing I just wanted to reiterate and we're going to go through it in a bit more detail later down the line, is why we're trying to work on keeping that neutral lumbar spine and what you can expect to be happening to that neutral, so we don't lose focus on that, because as the exercises get harder and you get stronger, you will sort of grunt your way through some of them, but not necessarily remember to keep that neutral lumbar spine. So we might refine that idea again and just remind you about using that imprint where we pull the rib cage down toward the tummy button a little bit, as to how and when we use that if we need to. It's not an absolute rule, you don't have to use it, but if you're feeling a bit vulnerable when you're getting both legs up in the air, it can just give you a bit more protection. Okay. So we're going to get started in side line. We're going to be doing some, think of the first two exercises as a bit of a warm-up, because we're going to keep them going continuously. I'm just going to grab a cushion from here, and we're going to be going for side kick level 1. It doesn't really matter which side you're laid on, but we're going to be having the top arm up ahead of us, the head on the pillow. Knees are going to be back in line with the body. So we've got that straight line through the knees, hips and shoulder. We've got the gap under the waist. We've got the hand on the floor for a little bit of support if we need it. We're lifting top knee and foot, and we're just hovering that leg forwards and then hovering it back. So the knee stays fixed at a right angle, and then the only real component that's moving is the hip joint. That leg is floating out and floating back. If you can get that knee as far forward as you can without disturbing that neutral lumbar spine, that's what we're aiming for there. And if the hand on the floor isn't really doing very much, see if it can settle on the hip with the elbow pointing upwards, and see if you can control that. Keep that going. Have a quick look at you. So these are a couple of warm-up moves just to kind of remind yourself what we're trying to do, keeping that neutral, keeping everything in a nice straight line through the pelvis, nice straight line through the knee, lovely. One more repetition, have a little bit of a rest. We're going to quickly move on to lift and lower, so we're straightening both legs. We've got the gap under the waist, so the hands on the floor for a little bit of support here. Top leg goes up, bottom leg goes up, both come down together. Top leg goes up, bottom leg goes up, both come down together. Your focus here is making sure that as both legs go up, your lower back isn't, or your waist is not collapsing into the floor. And we're trying to keep that bottom knee as straight as possible as you do this move. Breathing out as you lift, breathing in as you lower. Okay, good work. We're going to do a couple more of those. One more. Have a little bit of a rest there. Okay, so we're going to go up a level on the side kicks now. So here we're going to keep the legs straight. We're going to have the hands on the floor for a bit of support here. We lift that top leg with a straight knee, and we hover that leg forwards. We bring it back. We hover that leg forwards as far as you can go without disturbing your pelvis and upper body. So the idea is that everything else stays absolutely still, and that leg swings out, staying at hip height as it does so. Keep that going. Now, if that's going well, transfer that hand onto the hip, and just consider how well can you keep that body still now. Are you rolling around a little bit more now that we've done that? Still breathing. And we're going to do a couple more repetitions. One more after this one you're doing now. Okay, good work. Have a little bit of a rest. So just to remind you, the next level up, if we're jumping up a level, is that both legs come off the floor, top leg lifts a little bit further, and then works from there. Okay, so we've kind of got this separation between the legs and a separation of that bottom leg away from the floor. So if you feel like you're ready to go with that one, we're going to lift both legs a little way, then lift that top leg a little bit further. That's our start point. Top leg comes forwards, comes back from there. Top leg goes forwards, comes back from there. I find this quite tough. We're going to probably aim for more like 6 to 8 repetitions rather than 10. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go for 8 if you're still going there. Last one. Good work. Legs down together. There we go. Have a little rest. Now we're going to do the other side. So we're instantly going to flip over to the other side. Take your towel, your pillow, whatever you have to the opposite end of your mat. We're going to go for the side kick level 1. So those knees are bent. Straight line through the front of the body to the knees. We've got the knees at a right angle. Gap underneath the waist. Hand on the floor for a little bit of support. Lift that top knee. Swing that knee forwards. Take it back. This is where we can think about that neutral lumbar spine. If you put your knuckles into the small of your back, you'll feel that inward curve. As you bring the leg forwards, if you keep going, eventually that curve starts to flatten. That's the point I want you to take it to, or just before then. And as we take that leg backwards, as soon as you feel like that lower back is dipping inwards, that's where we stop. And we're only working in that zone that you can keep that spine still with. Okay, keep that one going. I'm going to have a quick look at you. Okay, good work. Have a little bit of a rest just for a moment. We're going to go straight into lift and lower. So I'm going to be lifting top leg, lifting bottom leg, both come down together. Top one up, bottom one up, both come down together. Keep the gap under the waist as we do so, particularly as that bottom leg lifts. That's 3, and we're aiming for 10. 4, 5, keep that top shoulder nice and relaxed. Making sure your head is not pressing into your pillow or your arm. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good stuff. Now we're going to move into side kick level 2. So we're going to keep the hand on the floor for a bit of support. Lift that top leg goes forwards, comes back. If your stability and balance is good, then we can transfer that hand onto the hip. I find it really difficult to control that. I prefer the hand on the floor. You choose what you can manage, making sure we're still breathing. We're aiming for 10, and that was probably number 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one there. Have a little bit of a rest down, okay, have a little moment. I'll remind you again what this next level, level 4, we're going to lift both legs a little way without collapsing the waist. Top leg lifts a little bit further, and then that top leg comes forwards from there, okay? So if you're ready, we're going to lift both legs, lift the top leg a little bit more, top leg comes forwards, 1. We're aiming for 6 to 8 reps, 2, 3, toes pointing forwards all the time, 4, trying not to claw with the toes, 5, 6, 7, 8, and rest those legs down. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of work on the side bend exercise. Now I've got a couple of variations, one that we haven't done before. Have a quick look at this side bend that we're going to do. Just check we haven't got anybody waiting. No. Okay, so side bend, level 1, we've done it dozens of times, you know what to do here, but we're going to add that kick movement into it. So just refresh yourself, have a quick look at me. We keep the waist lifted, hand stays on the hip for this one. We go up and forwards with the hip, so we're trying to create that straight line through the body. Top leg lifts, but we're going to do some kicks. Straight leg to bent knee and hip, and back out again. And what we're going to do is aim for 5 repetitions, have a rest, do that twice, and we're going to do it on each side, but I've got another one to throw in before we flip over, okay? So nice and high in the waist, hand on the hip, let's get up into the side bend position, lift that top knee so the knee's at hip height, bring the knee towards your chest, kick it away for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back down. Rest those hips back down. Have a little bit of a breather there. Okay, if we can, we're going to go again with this one. Keep that top neck, top shoulder nice and relaxed down as you do this. Let's go up and forwards. Top knee comes up, knee up towards the chest. Take it away for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top knee goes back down, have a little rest. Okay, I want you to have a quick look at what I do now. I'm going to go up onto my hand. From here, I'm going to do the same kind of side bend, but from my knees, not from my feet like we've done before. So I'm coming up into this position here, okay? The hand stays on the hip, and depends on what surface you are on, you might feel like your knees want to slide away. So make sure that hand's quite close to you, and you'll feel a little bit more secure. That top knee is going to come up again, and then we're going to go for some more kicks, but in this higher position, okay? So let's get onto your hand if you can. We're going to go up into that side bend position. Lift that knee as high as you can, pull it up towards your chest, take it away for 1, 2, keep the waist lifted, 3, 4, 5, let those knees go down, let that bum go down and back. Good work. Okay, we're going to do another set of 5 of that if you can manage it. If not, go back to the elbow or anything we've done previously. So let's get that waist lifted, let's get up into the air with those hips up and forwards, lift that knee nice and high, get that knee up towards your chest, kick it away for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good work. Down with the knees, down with the bum. Have a little bit of a break there. We're going to flip to the opposite side. So you might want to, well, you can leave your head pillow where your cushion wherever it is for the moment. We're going to be going on the elbow first of all with a side bend. So we're going to have those knees in front, feet in line with the rest of the body. Get that gap under the waist. Okay. Let's get that hip up and forwards in that position. And if you're happy, just hold that. Or we can lift that knee. Bring it up, take it away for 1, 2, keep that going, 3, 4, 5. Okay, have a little bit of a rest down with that knee, lower the hips, have a little bit of a break. Okay, see if you can get nice and high on that elbow. We want to get those hips up into the air. I nearly did the same side. Again there. Right, let's really think about now, just a little bit of something different here. It's very easy to collapse into this position. Really push that elbow into the floor so you lift your chest away before we go again. Hand on the hip, push through the elbow, push through the knees to lift those hips up. If we can get there, hold it, and then we're going to lift that top knee, bring that knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knee down, bum down and back, have a little rest. Quick reminder of the next level, we're going to bring the hand into play here, straight elbow. So I'm just kind of in this slouchy position to begin with, but once again I'm going to try and get my waist lifted nice and high. I'm going to push my hand into the floor as I push up into this position. So getting to there shouldn't be too tricky. It's now getting that knee up to hip height that's the challenge. And bringing it towards your chest, taking the leg out parallel with the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, back down, bum down and back. Have a little moment. We're going to do that once more. When you're ready, we're going to lift hips up and forwards, get up into that pivot point, push the floor away, lift the knee, knee up, foot away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knee back down, bum back down. Whew, that was hard. Okay, now we're going to be up in kneeling now. If your knees don't like kneeling on your floor, put your cushion under your knees. We're going to be doing some spine twists and some side flexion moves. And these are mobilizers for your spine, okay? Now, my toes aren't very good at resting away because my feet and ankles aren't very mobile. But if you can, rest your feet away, if you can trust them not to go into cramp in that position. If you can't, tuck them under, it's up to you. Okay, now we're going to go through standing posture, but in kneeling. So same as ever, helium balloon pulls the crown of the head nice and tall, so the chin's tucked in, shoulder blades set down. We're going to do a few of those pelvic tilts in this kneeling position. And most of you may find that in kneeling, what happens is you create a big curve in your back, a deep swaying position. So you might need to tuck that tailbone downwards and flatten that back a little bit more than you might normally in standing. So once we're there, we're going to hold that there. And we're going to put hands on opposite shoulders, okay? So the arms are crossed, elbows are out in front. We're going to be rotating to the right first of all, having a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, you're rotating around. And the spine as well as the hips will rotate here a little bit. So you should get a decent way round, breathing in as you come back in, breathing out as you go back around. And we're just going to do 5 in each direction. We don't need to force it, we just need to see how far we can go and whether each repetition might just creep a little bit further. Okay, so that's 2 repetitions in each direction. Each time you come back to the middle, have you got neutral? Or have you crept into that deep curve position? Can you tuck that tailbone down a little bit? Okay, good work, that's number 3. 2 more in each direction. Taking it back a little bit further if you can. One more. That breath out just allows you to creep back a little bit further around. Okay, and you should have a bit of a good idea of your symmetry there. Do you feel looser one way than the other? If you're a bit stiffer one way, it might be worth just spending a bit more time on that when you've got the spare time to work on it. We're going to now do some side flexions in kneeling. So staying in this tall position, keeping that tailbone tucked down, I'm going to be reaching my right hand down toward the side of my knee. The left hand is going to reach up and over. So I'm thinking of touching the floor with my right hand, reaching over with my left. Bringing that hand back down, switching hand positions, reaching over, trying to touch the floor. I've got long monkey arms, so I can touch the floor really easily. I'm interested to see what other people can do. Can we get that neutral on the spine as we do this? Breathing out as we reach out. Breathing in as we come back up. Breathing out as you reach over. Breathing in as you come back up. 2 more on each side. Let me have a quick look at that. That's it. Trying to get down to the floor if you can. Nice little stretch. Nice little breath out at the end of that. 1 more on each side if you're still going there. And a little note, have a little rest there, a little note on that stretch. When we're stretching to the side, obviously it's muscles on your side that have to stretch, but most of those muscles that get tight, they're around the back. So generally, the way that you will cheat your way through a side bend is that you will allow your back to curve inwards as you go over. It's easier. If you actually flatten your back and tuck your tailbone down a little bit, and then go over, you'll feel the tension in that opposite side far more. So think about tucking the tailbone down as you add that stretch on. You'll feel like you get a better stretch out of it because it targets those muscles that we need to stretch a little bit more. And it's not an area we often stretch, especially in Pilates, so we should throw it in a bit more, I think. Okay, now we're going to be going into sitting. We're going to be doing a little bit of work for the tummy muscles before working on those glutes again. So we're going to do some oblique rollbacks. We've done this to death last time, so you should be prepared for this one. We're going to start nice and tall. If we can, we have the hands out ahead of us, but we can have hands on the knees if need be. If we're having the hands out ahead of us, we're going to lower ourselves down a little way and just open the arm a little and then come back up tall before going the opposite way. Now, if you're not very strong at that and you want to keep one hand on the knee whilst opening that one side, that's fine, and then you'd have to switch hands to hold the knee as you then open the opposite side. But if we can, let's take the hands off the knees and see if we can control. And we're going to slowly work our way back a little bit further and a little bit further each time, coming up to that tall position each time we come back up. And I want to see whether we can get ourselves right down to the mat or somewhere close to it, and then still be able to return back up to our start position. Keep that chin tucked. Good work. I'm going to have a quick look at you. Good work there, Steve. Good control. And you, Renata, try and keep those knees still. Don't let the knees wobble as you go. Good work. Okay. Make the next repetition you do your last, and then you're going to be allowing yourself to roll back fully onto the floor, head supported. Okay, now we're going to add something here that I don't think we've done, or we did in a certain guise last time. It's called crisscross. It's pretty much like a standard crunch with an oblique movement. Now I'm going to give you two options. I'm going to give you an easy option and a hard option. Both hands are going to go behind your head. Do not lace your fingers together. Fingers are lightly cradling the back of your head, top of your neck. The chin is tucked in towards your throat. We will take the easy option being left knee up into tabletop position, and you're going to take your right elbow over toward that left knee, peeling the right shoulder blade from the floor. Right arm goes back, left foot goes down, right leg comes up, take the left elbow to the right leg and back off. So you can see what's happening here. We're just alternating sides, but it's time consuming because we've got to alternate the legs as we go. If you're happy with that, that's fine. If you wish, we're going to progress. One leg up into tabletop followed by the other. From there, we're going to go right elbow to left knee, back off a little way. Left elbow to right knee, back off a little way. And we're just alternating sides, coming back to just touch your pillow before going off again in the opposite direction. Trying to keep your knees absolutely still as you do so. And that gives me my shaky voice when I try and teach and talk at the same time, so I'm just going to watch you guys instead. Try and think about lifting the shoulder blade rather than reaching with the elbow. Good work, Renata. Everybody's looking pretty strong there. Good work, nice and stable. One more on each side and then have a little rest. Do not collapse out of position. 1 foot down at a time. Have a little bit of a rest. Okay. Now we're going to go for some of the conventional exercises, but we're going to add into them just a little bit of variation to make it a little bit more challenging if we need to. So let me show you the basic, and then I'll show you a little bit that we will add on. So we're going to do one leg stretch. Level 1. Now one leg stretch, sorry, not level 1, level 2. One leg stretch, level 2. We go to tabletop, we extend the knee, we bring it back, we take it to the floor. So let's just go through those motions. Left leg into tabletop, straighten the knee out so the thighs are parallel, bring the knee back, take it to the floor. And this is a good opportunity just to rethink that neutral lumbar spine. Do you feel like your back lifts as you straighten your knee? As you bring your knee back to tabletop, does your back flatten into the floor? That's the direction it would normally go if you were not able to maintain that neutral. So can you keep that absolute still curve under your back despite the fact you're moving this leg around in different directions? Now, you may well find that's pretty straightforward. You can feel that that back stays still. If that's the case, good stuff. We can make it a little bit harder. To make it harder, we're going to go into the abdo prep. So we've got fingers behind the head again, and we're just rolling the chin up into the chest, top of the shoulder blades away from the floor, same movement. Just one leg away, back to tabletop, back to the floor. Left leg to tabletop, knee extends, back to tabletop, back to the floor. So we're just making it a little bit more demanding on those tummy muscles. And in this position, with the abdo prep in place, where we've lifted the shoulders away from the floor, you should still be able to keep that neutral position, that slight, shallow curve. Let's do one more on each side before we take it up a notch. Last repetition there. Okay, when the foot's back on the floor, roll back into your head support, have a little rest. Have a look at the next level. Again, we're going to have 2 layers to this one. If we can manage it, we're going to go to double leg tabletop. Just for the point of certainty here, we're going to have we're going to use the imprint. So we've got the neutral curve in the lower back. We're just pulling that rib cage down towards the tummy button a little bit momentarily as I take one leg up and then the other. I can then let go of the imprint, but I want to think about keeping that neutral and my tummy flat. And then, sorry, I'm not going to use abdo prep. Sorry, I'm getting away from myself. One leg goes away, one leg comes back. Opposite leg goes away, hips at about 45 degrees, then it comes back. Now this could be our baseline here, or we can add the abdo prep into that as we go away. It's up to you. See what you can manage. See if you can still breathe with each repetition whilst holding abdo prep, keeping one leg absolutely still whilst the other one moves. Okay. Well done, Renata, good control. Nice and smooth there. That's it. See if you can get that leg, that thigh a little bit further away if possible. That's looking really strong, Sue, well done. Breathing out as you reach your way, in as you come back. One more repetition, and then we're going to have a little bit of a rest there. One leg down at a time. Okay, double leg stretch. Level 2 is where we're going to start. This is where we need a little bit more coordination. I'm just going to remind myself of how we're going to do this one. So we'll just start out with arms and legs, starting from double leg tabletop. In fact, I'm going to throw in a quick basic version if anybody needs it. Level 1 is where we slide that foot along the floor as the arms go back, arms around the side as the foot comes back to the start position, so that we can keep those legs low. So that's all about control and coordination. There's not much strength work in that one. Stick to that if you need to. If you're ready to go beyond that, we're going to use double leg tabletop using our imprint at this point. Again, let go of the imprint when you're up there. And then we're going to float those arms, take one leg away. Arms come around the side as that leg comes back to its start position. Opposite leg goes away. Leg comes back, arms come around the side. So this is our baseline version. Keep that going. Okay, and you're going to do one more repetition, and then we're going to have a look at a slightly harder version. Last one. When those arms are back down by your side, allow one foot to come down, then the other. So we can add the abdo prep into this, but have a quick look at me when I do this. When my arms come back and I'm in abdo prep, they don't go back so far. So don't worry about them going all the way back to the floor there. And you could just stay in abdo prep and work arms, okay? Or you could just stay in abdo prep and work legs. Or if you're feeling like you can coordinate the whole thing together, then this is how we go. Stay in abdo prep whilst we take those arms back. And that's normally where we find the shakes, I would say. It does for me anyway. So keep that one going if you're still going. I want to see how you're doing there. That's it. Don't worry about getting those arms all the way back. Oh, well done, Renata. Looking strong there. Breathing out as those legs go away. Everybody's doing really well. That's looking good. Good job you've been working your way up to this. This is great. One more rep on each side. And have a little bit of a rest. Okay, good stuff. Right, so now that those tummy muscles are working quite nicely, we're going to just give them a slightly different thing to do. We're going to be doing scissors. So instead of the legs going away, we're going to be going down a little bit. Now, this is where we've got to think about that neutral under spine again. Let me get in position and just remind you what this looks like. Okay, so we're going to go for double leg tabletop as we've done before. Left leg, my left leg stays still, right foot goes to the floor, touches the floor, comes back up. Quite basic, we've done it a few times. But what I really want you to focus on here is what happens in your lower back as you lower the foot. Do you feel like your back wants to be levered up as the foot goes down? Now if it does, touch the floor a little bit closer towards your bottom and you'll find that it's a little bit easier. If you touch the floor too far away, you'll just start to feel that back get lifted up. And if you're not sure what that should feel like, experiment. Take the foot a little bit further away and touch the floor. You'll feel how that interrupts your back position. And it's not dangerous, it's fine to do that, but you're just not controlling that movement so well. So come back to a lever length that you can control. Okay, do one more repetition, and when the foot touches the floor, leave it there, have a little bit of a rest. Okay, I had some variations that I wanted to do here. Oh yes, you'll like this one. We're going to alternate arm movements. You're going to need to look at this one. Same leg movement, but we're going to get opposite, we're going to have arms moving in opposite timing to the legs. So we're going to start with arms out in this beach ball position we've used before, double leg tabletop using our imprint. Now as my left leg goes down, my right arm goes back. Notice it doesn't go back all the way and then it comes back up. And then my right leg goes down as my left arm goes back and then it comes back up. So we can think about that neutral lumbar spine again, softly touching the floor, returning back to tabletop. And what you should feel is some diagonal pulling across the tummy, as those oblique muscles have to do a little bit of extra work to control the arm at the same time as the leg. Breathing out as you take the foot down, breathing in as it comes back. Keep that neutral lumbar spine. Terrific. One more repetition on each side. Okay, next time your foot touches the floor, leave it there. Let the other foot come down to meet it on the floor, let your arms rest. Okay, now, if your tummy muscles weren't finished off yet, I've got one last little bit for them. We're going to do scissors level 3. Now this is where legs are moving together but in opposite directions. So have a quick look at that. One leg goes down, but as that comes back up, the other one is going down. And all we're going to do to complicate that is an abdo prep, but we're going to use a beach ball position at the same time. So let's get in position. First of all, we're going to go for double leg tabletop using your imprint. Take hold of your beach ball. But now what I want you to do is reach that beach ball up towards the ceiling. Hold it there. One foot goes to the floor. As that comes back up, we switch legs. So the legs are going in opposite directions to one another. You're offering this ball up towards the ceiling. Trying not to let your voice go shaky at the same time. Still breathing. Keep that going. Well done. Getting those shoulder blades away from the floor if you can, so you're reaching it up. And then the next time that foot touches the floor, let the other foot come down to meet it. Lower your head and shoulders back down. Have a little bit of a rest there. Okay, now you'll be glad to know those tummy muscles are getting a bit of a rest now. We're going to go into some shoulder bridge. We haven't done these for a while, so let's get the bum muscles woken up a little bit here. We're going to do some nice, easy level ones just to wake up the tummy muscles. Sorry, wake up the bum muscles. I think the tummy muscles have had it for the day. But let's get the bum muscles woken up, and then we're going to just get them coordinated with some single leg work once we've done that. So we've got feet and knees at hip width apart. We're going to think about just rolling that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Yes, your lower back will collapse and you lose your neutral. That's fine. Roll that tailbone upwards to the ceiling. Roll the vertebra one at a time back into the floor, back to neutral. Repeat that over. We are not clenching anything, we are not squeezing anything, we're just going with the flow. If you feel like your hamstrings are doing all the work, then just bring those heels a little bit closer towards your bum. Okay, now the next time you're up in the bridge, you're going to hold it there. Okay, we're going to float both arms up towards the ceiling. You may want to walk your feet a little bit closer towards each other, and then from this position we're going to peel the heel on the right foot, straighten the leg out, place that foot back on the floor, roll back out of the bridge but keep your beach ball up. Roll back up into your bridge. Left foot, heel peels away from the floor, and then we straighten out. Now you need to make a judgment here. Is your body staying in a nice straight line, or do you feel like you're getting twisted out of position? If you're getting twisted out of position, keep your arms on the floor. That should settle that and keep you in a nice straight line. Keep that going. Keep that bridge, don't let the bum drop as you lift that foot. Well done, Renata. Good moderation. Okay. Have a little rest next time your bum comes to the floor. Let those arms rest down. Next layer up, we're going to stay in the bridge and we're going to do 2 leg lifts. Okay, so we're going to go hands up if we can, hands down if we can't, up into the bridge. One leg goes up, foot goes down. Opposite side goes up, foot goes down. So quite a small progression in all honesty, isn't it? So we go back up into that bridge, one leg goes out, foot goes down. We stay in the bridge, alternate sides, back out of the bridge, reset. If you can, we go with the arms up. If you're not already, give it a whirl, see whether you can control it now that you've done a few. Okay, roll it back down. And we're going to be working on some single leg lifts in a moment after we've done one more repetition of this. So let's take it up into that bridge, one leg out, down, followed by the other, down, roll back out of the bridge, have a little bit of a rest. Now we're going to turn up the volume on it a little bit. We're going to do some single leg curls. Now this is where you've got to be careful about your hamstrings. If you feel like the hamstring's doing all the work here, feels like it's going to go into cramp, back off, have a rest, don't push it. So we're going to start off with the right leg doing the work, which means that we've got to lift the left leg up. And if your hamstrings allow, point it up towards the ceiling as high as it will go, then start to push with the tailbone as though you're trying to take that foot up to the ceiling, roll it back down. Keep the leg there. Let's go again. We're going to do 5. So that was number 2, 3, 4, 5. Foot goes down, we switch sides. Leg goes up, straight as you can go with the knee. Push that foot up to the ceiling, bring it back down. We're still working that curve through the spine, that regular roll up with the bridge. Number 3, 4, last one, and then we switch sides again. We're going to do 3 sets on each side, so 2 sets left to go. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, foot goes down, switch sides, up you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more set, switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch sides, last go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rest down. Okay, now we're going to go in the opposite direction now. We're going to try and calm these down a little bit, these bum muscles. So we're going to do a little bit of something that learns to let go with those glutes. We've done it once or twice before. It's called hip swivels. Let me talk you through it first. We're going to do a bridge. I'm going to pop my hands under my bum and sort of appreciate that, yeah, things probably feel quite firm when you're up in that position. But we're going to try and just drop an inch on one side. So I'm trying to let go with my right bum cheek a little bit to drop that inch. And then I bring the hip back up and that engages the muscle again. Keeping the right side up, I let go of the left to drop it an inch and then bring it back up. So this is about letting go. Can you let go with one side whilst holding with the other? Bring it back up. Let go with the other side whilst holding up with the other. Bring it back up. No more tension than is required. So you don't need to clench to hold your way up here. Letting go, bringing it back up. It's a subtle exercise and it's more about letting things relax than it is about engaging them. And we're just going to do another few on each side, maybe another 3. Let's say 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, relax down. Okay. Now we're going to do a few hip twist here. Seems like a good time to do it, where we're just going to roll the knees from side to side. Arms go out to the side. It's just a mobiliser. Rolling the knees one way as head and neck goes the other. We've done this one before. We're keeping knees and ankles bound together with rope, metaphorically or imaginarily. Shoulder blades bolted to the floor. Neutral on the spine as you come through the middle again. So take a little bit of time as those knees come through the middle. Where do you naturally land? Are you in the neutral, or do you need to flatten a little bit to get to neutral before you head off in the opposite direction? If you set neutral in the middle, it means the opposite direction will slide through the movement a little bit easier. See whether you can just take it back a little bit further each repetition. Okay, one more in each direction. Okay, and when those knees are back into the middle, you're going to have a sit up and you're going to have your legs out in front of you. I'm going to put in a new exercise. And I've not done this one before with you because I'm not very good at it, basically. So it's about time I did it and got good at it, I think. Some of you are probably going to be quite good at it, I think. So we're going to start with legs out straight, and you'll see where my arms are. Now, if you don't like that hand position of being straight forward with the fingers, you can turn them out to the side or even backwards if you want to. But if you're able to, we're going to go forwards. Now, this exercise is called leg pull in supine. So it's not that dissimilar to something we've done before in a high plank position, but we're doing it on our back. From here, all I'm going to do is, with straight knees, I'm going to lift my hips as high as I can go. Now, the real compromise here is on the shoulders for me. For some of you, it might be more in your hamstrings. And then we lower back down to the floor. So in this start position, we want to be in as sort of a neutral position as we can, which means sitting nice and tall in the chest, and then keeping the toes relaxed. We push through the heels, through the hands, lift those hips nice and high, allow the head to go back a little bit, and then gently soften back down. And it doesn't matter how high you're going, it's probably not high enough. Let's go again. Hold for a moment, slowly rest that one back down. I'm going to have a quick look at how you do that. Oh, you're all flying at it. Well done. Well done. Another couple of repetitions. Okay. And then when your bum is back on the floor, have a little bit of a rest. Okay. So that's our basic version. Now we're going to add a leg lift into this. If you can manage it and stay solid, have a quick look. So I go up into that position, I hold it, and then I lift a leg, I put it down, I lift a leg, I put it down, I go back down. Okay, so it's one leg lift, each side, back down. Okay, let's take it up, keep your body nice and still, lift up, toes to about nose height, up, bum slowly down, keep your neutral as you lower down. Let's do it again, one each side. One, lower back down. One more set of that, up we go. One, lower back down. Now we're going to see if we can manage a set with 2 reps each side. So we're going to alternate sides twice and then come down, and we're going to do 3 sets of that. Okay? If you don't like it, just go into that position, come back out. Go into that position, come back out. But if we can, we're going to go up, let the head come back a little bit, right leg up and down, left leg up and down, right leg up and down, left leg up and down, and lower down. So that's 1 set. Let's go again. Up we go, breathing in to prepare, out on the lift. 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 Lower down. 1 set left to go. Okay, keep yourself tall in that sat position. Last turn, up we go. Right, slowly down. Left, slowly down. Right, slowly down. Left, slowly down. Lower back down. Take the weight off your hands. Bring your bum a bit closer towards your heels. Roll yourself back, pulling the knees in toward the chest. And we're just going to have a little bit of a roll in that position there, knees into chest, and we're just oscillating on and off here, thinking about peeling the spine away from the floor as much as possible as we roll up. Okay, now I've got one last little exercise for you, something that you're familiar with now. We're going to do the leg pull prep series. We're going to roll back up into sitting. We're going to have a turnover onto hands and knees. For this one, we are going to be going for a very basic lift just to begin with, just to remind ourselves what we're trying to achieve here. So we've got shoulders in line with the hands, or hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to have our neutral lumbar spine, which means flattening the back, tilting the tailbone up, find the halfway position. Maintain that, toes tucked under as we lift the knees, and we're just going to hold that knee lift just, you know, an inch away from the floor, that's all. We'll hold it there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the knees down. Have a little bit of a sit back on the heels, let the toes go away. Have a little breather for a moment. Okay, so that's our basic. If we can manage it, now what we're going to do is take the hands a hand span further forwards. We're going to tuck those toes under again. We're going to lift the knees, but from here, this is where we press out into that high plank position, keeping the chest lifted, keeping tailbone tucked down, kneecaps pulled up the front of the thighs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hover it back, hover those knees back, knees touch the floor. Okay, if you wish, toes away, roll your bum back towards your heels, have a nice big deep breath in that position again. So that was our intermediate level. The next level, we're going to be adding some leg lifts into that movement. So we're going to come back up. So just to reiterate, we've not got the hands underneath the shoulders, we've got them away a little bit. And the further away you put them, the easier it makes the exercise, in all honesty. If we get those knees, we've got that neutral on the spine, we get those knees away from the floor, we push it out into that flat, high plank position. Tailbone tucked down, kneecaps pulled up the thighs and the chest lifted. And we're going to lift the right leg from the floor a few inches, back down. Left leg lifts from the floor a few inches, back down. And then we're going to hover back. Knees are just going to touch the floor, and then we lift up again and push out. And we're going to go one on the right, one on the left, and then back to the right. 2, 2, hover back, knees touch the floor. We're going to do 3 on each side next. Push out. Legs nice and straight. Right, down, left, down, right, down, left, down. Keep that tailbone tucked down the back of your legs. When that left is down, hover back, knees touch the floor, we come up again, we're going to do 2. So we're going back down the pyramid. Right and down, left and down. Right, down, left, down, take it back, 1 left to do, knees touch the floor, up you come back into the high plank. Let's make this really good quality, keep the knees tight, right, down, left, down, take those knees back, put them down, toes away, roll yourself back into that child's pose stretch. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Nice, big, fulfilling deep breaths into the base of the rib cage. Two or three more breaths. Okay. And ease your way back up. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that for today. So I think the end of that got quite challenging. I know I found it challenging. So we've gone through some tummy work and some bum work there. I think we've sort of worked pretty evenly with that today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be getting the recording out to you pretty sharpish, hopefully this evening. And as I was saying to Renata at the beginning of the session, I'm starting to think about what I do next. I might have a little summer break before I roll it over, But what I want to do is just canvass opinion, so I might have a chat with you individually through the course of the week and see how you want to proceed with this once next week is finished, because next week is your last week. You've got that 5th bonus week in this one. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a great evening, and I will see you all later. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, Sue. Bye-bye.